Hello, my name is Lakin and welcome to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastically whimsical day, and if not, hopefully this video will make your day just a little bit better. If you are a Webkinz lover, then you're in for a special treat with this one because I'm finally putting together the video where I show off my entire Webkinz collection. Oh, this is like the holy grail of all Webkinz collectors, because if you have a lot of pets, this is a long video, because there's a lot of pets, but also I enjoy seeing videos like this. I remember watching these so much whenever I was younger, just to see what people's collections look like, what pets they have, what pets they gravitated to when they were younger, and what pets they gravitate to now. So we're going to start with the very first pet that I ever adopted, and that was all the way back in 2007. And we'll go through every single one of my pets, all the way up to the most recent, which was adopted just a few days ago from when this video is released. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. You're going to kind of see through the years that I was super obsessed with this game, and then the years where I pretended it didn't exist. Which, the years that I pretended that this game did not exist, it was really sad because I felt pressured and forced into pretending that, oh, that's for babies, that's not for me, I'm too cool, I'm too adult, typical teenager-y stuff. But thankfully, I wasn't able to completely ignore this game, and I was able to log in enough to keep my original account alive, because I know a lot of people who had accounts when we were younger, they're deactivated now. They don't exist because inactive for so long that they were deleted. So I am thankful that even though some of these years are pretty empty with pets, that I was able to at least save this account that has my very first Webkinz on it, which I adopted on June 29th, 2007. I adopted a beagle, and his name is Shiloh. If I have the plush of the animal, I will put it up on screen so you can see the plushes that I do own. I don't have all of them through either them not having a plush, us losing the plush either in a move, or just with age having to get rid of stuffed animals because we can't carry all of them with us throughout our entire life. But Shiloh here does have his plush with him, and I'm never going to get rid of this plush. First Webkinz, super special place in my heart. I remember going to the store with a list of my top 5 Webkinz I was wanting to get whenever I first learned about this game. And I don't remember where on the list of that top 5 he was in, but he was on that list. And as soon as I saw that little beagle, I knew he was mine. And then our next Webkinz I adopted on July 5th, 2007. And it's a Littlekins panda, and I named her Yaya. I got this Webkinz at the zoo after we had just visited the panda exhibit. I named her after one of the pandas at the zoo. So there was a panda there named Yaya, so we named our panda Yaya. The next Webkinz was adopted on July 29th, 2007. It's an alley cat, and his name is Meow. Now, this was actually my brother's Webkinz. He was too young to have an account, but he still wanted to have fun, interact, hang out. I don't blame him. So this was the Webkinz he picked out, and we put it on my account. So Meow is technically not mine, but then on August 13th, 2007, I adopted a little bitty pug, and her name is Cece, named after Cece's Pizza, because who doesn't love Cece's Pizza? Or at least I definitely did when I was younger, especially the macaroni and cheese pizza. That was my favorite. Then on November 3rd, 2007, we adopted a black cat, and I named her Hollow, obviously short for Halloween. We just took off the ween part and made a beautiful little name for the black cat, because what else are you going to call a black cat? And then on December 24th, right on Christmas Eve 2007, we adopted a black and white cat, and I named him Oliver. And then we don't adopt any pets until May 5th, 2008. And the first one we adopt there is Buddy the Black Lab. On July 4th, 2008, we adopt a chicken, and her name is Kadu. Obviously, because cockle-doodle-doo, that's what a rooster says. And so, just like we did with Hollow, we're going to shorten it, select just a singular part of that word, and name it. That's what we named our chicken, Kadu. You'll see that I did that a lot. I just kind of pulled a word out of a longer word, and the word I pull out may not exactly be a word, but we make it one. And then on August 16th, 2008, we adopt a Clydesdale horse, and her name is Gabriella. Clydesdales are my favorite type of horse still. It was my favorite type of horse then, but it's still my favorite type of horse. They're so beautiful, and I was so excited when I found out that there was a Clydesdale that I could adopt in-game. On August 23rd, we adopted 2 pets that day. This is going to be the start of lots of same day multiple pet adoptions. So the first one we adopted was Claire. She was a deer, or she is a deer. Haven't gotten rid of her. She's still here. Claire the deer. And then we have a Cocoa dragon named Puff. Like Puff the imaginary dragon. I believe that's what I named him after. Or maybe I named him Cocoa Puff, like the cereal. Who knows? Either one could be correct. And then we move on to 2009. So our next pet that we adopted was on April 20th, 2009. And we adopted my first underwater pet. And that was Glitzy the fantail goldfish. I really enjoy her. I think her design is super cool. And I kind of wish I had more underwater pets. But as you'll see, I only have I believe 2 more underwater pets. So maybe it's time to start looking into the underwater friends and see what they got there. And then on June 4th, 2009, we adopted a little budgie bird, and his name is Key Lime, like a key lime pie, because he looks like a tiny little slice. And then on June 15th, I adopted a groundhog. And as you can probably tell, I've been going back and forth between the genders girl and boy, because in this game you have to have a gender. But I like to go back and forth to kind of somewhat keep them even. And so we got a groundhog, and normally I would name the groundhog Phil, because that's what the famous groundhog's name, that just makes sense. But we needed a girl, so it's Phyllis. If I was to adopt Phyllis now, I would probably just name her Phil. If I'm gonna go after the famous groundhog, just name her Phil. Phil is an appropriately acceptable gender-neutral name. And then on September 4th, 2009, we adopted a Webkinz lamb, and his name is Christian. And Christian is one of the ones that I no longer have the plush for. And a lot of the ones that I don't have plushes for that I did have a plush for, I'm kind of really sad. I wish I still had them, but especially Christian, because his fur was so soft. I still remember how soft his fur was. And then on December 27th of 2009, I adopted a possum, and her name is Highway. I'm pretty sure you can guess where I got the name from, how the name originated. But if you don't, most of the time that I see possums, they're on the side of the road, and they're kind of in a eternal slumber. So, highways and possums, they just kind of go together. So we got Highway the possum, and she's probably one of my favorites, if I was to have favorites. But of course, as all good Webkinz owners, we don't actually have favorites. We love them all equally. Wink, wink. And now it's time to move on to 2010, and in the first 3 years, I think I had around 16 pets that I adopted in total over 3 years. In 2010 alone, I'll go ahead and give you a hint. I adopted 28 pets in this year alone. So 2010 and 2011, there's some pretty big years. I like to call these the golden years, the years that I ate, slept, and breathed Webkinz. It was the golden age. It was when Webkinz was poppin', and it was the time to be alive. And some of these Webkinz that I adopted simply because they were a Webkinz. I stopped truly caring about what they were specifically, and just wanted as many Webkinz as possible. It's obviously not as bad as it could be. I'm sure some people are like 28 in 1 year. Psh, that's nothing. But compared to all the other years, this is pretty big. So we're starting off 2010 on January 7th when I adopted a black and white dog named Wiggles. It was a Littlekins as well. So a black and white Littlekins dog named Wiggles. Just a very appropriate name for a little dog. And then on April 29th, we had another double adoption for 2 Cocker Spaniels. One was the regular size and one was the Littlekins. So the regular size one was a little boy Cocker Spaniel named Moonlight. And then the Littlekins was a little girl Cocker Spaniel named Sunshine. So Moonlight and Sunshine coming together. Super cute name tying in together. I like it. And then on April 23rd, we also had a double adoption day. And these 2 I got while I was on vacation, and I remember it very well. The first one is a blueberry cheeky dog named Blue Myrtle, because we were on vacation at Myrtle Beach. So, had to tie it into that, had to remember. And then the second one was a pom-pom kitty that I named, you guessed it, Pom-Poms. I love these 2 so much, and they have nothing to do with each other, but they are twins. They are brother and sister through and through, and I wish I had their plushes still, but I got them while I was on vacation. And if you want to know a little bit more about me, while I vividly remember getting them on this vacation, I also vividly remember that this vacation was during my blue plaid striped fedora era. I wore this hat the entire time. So just imagine little Lakin holding 2 Webkinz, a blueberry cheeky dog and a bright pink pom-pom kitty in each hand, and a blue plaid fedora on my head. We were a sight. I was living my truth. I was having fun. We move on to July 11th, where again, we adopted 2 pets the same day. The first one we adopted on July 11th was a warthog, and his name is Bones. A very bad to the bone warthog name. And then we had our very first signature Webkinz. I don't have a lot of signature Webkinz. This was huge, especially because it was the clouded leopard. And clouded leopards are my favorite animal of all time. So we named this little clouded leopard girl May. She's so sweet, and I'm so glad I still have her. Very, very precious to me. I love her so much. And then on July 17th, we adopted a cheeky monkey named Mo. If you know anything about me, personally, you know I do not like primates. Monkeys, apes, any and all things that are related in that area, not for me. No thank you. But we have Mo here, the cheeky monkey. So where did he come from? He was a trading card code pet. He was, I believe, my very first trading card code pet that I ever got. So I didn't know what I was getting when I typed in that code, and out popped a little monkey. So, and we do actually, I'll go ahead and spoil it, we have a few more monkeys, or primates, whatever you want to call them, down on the line, and we'll explain them too, because they also have reasons. Next, on August 5th, 2010, we adopted another little Kinz, but this time it was a St. Bernard, and her name is Summer. And then on August 6th, the very next day, we got a reindeer, and I named him Blitzen. You know, after the very famous reindeer. There's no other name for a reindeer that is more popular than Blitzen. Definitely not Rudolph at all. And then on August 19th, 2010, we adopted a Springer Spaniel, and her name is Delilah. And her fur, super soft too. It feels like the same way the lamb felt to me. August 25th of 2010, we got a spotted frog, and I named him Bug Eyes for two reasons. One, he's a frog and they eat bugs, obviously. And two, his eyes are protruding. He's one of the plushes that I wish I still had. He's so funny, so lovable. I wish I still had Bug Eyes in the flesh. Oop, that's a weird way to say it. In the plush. There you go. On August 26th, 2010, we adopted a tree kangaroo, and I named her Trixie. Trixie the tree kangaroo. And then on September 7th, 2010, we adopted, I keep saying we, I adopted. You're along for the ride now, but you weren't along for the ride in 2010. I adopted a chinchilla named Prince Chinchi. I named him Chinchi because it's the words chinchilla just broken up and cut off, you know, how I've done. And he's royalty because I loved chinchillas. I still do love chinchillas. Maybe one day I'll have a chinchilla IRL, but not yet. But now I mostly just call him Prince. Our next adoption was on September 18th. We adopted a gray squirrel, and I named her Nellie. And then on October 4th, I adopted a bat, and his name is Jackal. What else would you call a bat? It's a Halloween-themed animal. And Jackal, short for jack-o'-lantern. Also short for like an actual jackal, but that's a different animal completely. So is short for jack-o'-lantern. Then on October 16th, we got some adoptions. And one of those adoptions is a signature chimpanzee boy named Chip. Now, we're going to go ahead and skip a little bit to November 2nd, where we have a signature chimpanzee girl named Chipette. Now, you're probably wondering, for someone who does not like primates, who thinks primates are weird and creepy and uncomfortable, why do you have two signature chimpanzees? It was because I was obsessed with Webkinz. And signatures were the coolest. I didn't have many signatures. I had one. So I started going on eBay, click-clacking away, trying to win little bids. And I ended up, I didn't really care what animal it was. I just wanted Webkinz. I had money burning a hole in my pocket. We placed bets on two different signature chimpanzee listings, and I won both of them. And I was really disappointed when I found out I had to pay for both of them. So that's how we got Chip and Chipette. I've grown to love them. They're fine. Not my favorite. If I was thinking clearly back then, probably wouldn't have gotten two chimpanzees. But then also on October 16th, we adopted a caterpillar, and her name is Fraggle, based off the TV show Fraggle Rock, because this caterpillar looks like it came straight out of that show. And also that show is really good. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. And then on October 2nd, the same day we adopted Chipette, we also adopted a snowy owl, and his name is Avalanche. And then we adopted a signature Labradoodle dog, and her name is Curly Q. And she is the only signature that I no longer have the pet for, which is really sad, but Curly Q is really pretty in game, so maybe one day I'll get her back in plush form. On November 10th, we also had a double adoption day. This year is just basically chock full with double adoption days. And the first one we adopted on November 10th was a pink cockatoo named Val. short for Valentine's. It wasn't anywhere near Valentine's Day, but she was a pink bird. What screams more Valentine's Day than that? And then we also got, fitting the Valentine's Day theme, all the way on November 10th, is a love lion, and his name is Sam. And yes, you are correct. I did name him after the crush I had at the time. So, Sam, if you're watching, I had a crush on you in 2010, and I named a Webkinz after you. It's not weird at all. And then on December 1st, we had a triple adoption day. We first off adopted a husky, a little Kinz husky, and his name is Mush. I do remember that the husky was the #1 dog, or the #1 plush on that list of 5 Webkinz that I wanted when I first got Shiloh. I do remember husky was #1. It just took us a few years and we finally got one. And then the next one is a Mason hamster, the first of a couple Mason hamsters that I got. RIP Mason hamster area of Webkinz. You will be forever missed. If you never got to play that, you truly missed out. It was the creme de la creme. Top tier. Loved it so much. But we got the Presto hamster, and most of the hamsters, I'm pretty sure they came with names, so I just kept the name that they were given. I didn't change their names, so we got Blueberry here. The last one we adopted on December 1st was a Velvety elephant, and I named her, you guessed it, Velvety. You know, what else are you going to call your Velvety elephant other than Velvety? No other good names could ever pop up other than Velvety. And then on December 20th, the last 2 pets we adopted in 2010, we had a Portuguese water dog that I named her Holly. And then we had a polar bear, and I named him Coca-Cola. Very basic where I got those names, you know, Holly, Christmas plant, Coca-Cola, a Christmas drink with a polar bear mascot. Need I say more? We move all the way to 2011, where we don't have as many Webkinz. We don't have close to 28, but we did adopt 16 Webkinz this year. Still up there. We're still in the golden age of Webkinz. And we started off strong with a double day adoption. January 2nd, we adopted a wombat, and his name is Wally. And we adopted a jelly bean puppy, and her name is Pastel. So cute. Still have them both. I love the digital design of the wombat. So funny. Makes me laugh every time I see him. Just so precious and cute. And then on January 4th, we had a quadruple adoption day. This may be the most I've ever adopted in a single day. It was a big day. Don't know why it was January 4th. Don't know if I got them on Christmas. Don't know if I got them after it was a sale or if I just had money burning in my pocket. But for adoptions, single day, it's a momentous occasion. The first pet we got on January 4th was a golden retriever, and I named it after my own golden retriever dog, Dreamer. Sadly, I do not have this plush anymore, but I really want that plush, specifically because it's a memorial dog now. It's a memorial Webkinz now. I miss her, and I'm just happy that I have her in Webkinz form to remember her by. And since she's in Webkinz World, I still get to play with her. And then we also had another Mason hamster. We had the Sweetie hamster named Gumdrop. And then we had a koala, and I named him Colin. I find that name so funny. Not because it's a weird name, but just, hello, I'm Colin the koala. Doesn't fit. And then the last pet I adopted on January 4th was a ribbon Yorkie that I named Cotton Candy. And this is another one that I wish I still had, mainly because this plush was insane. The design was just so crazy, so cool, and the ribbons would just always fly everywhere. And then we waited a whole 10 days before we adopted our next Webkinz, and that was a love frog. And I named him James. And you guessed it, it was based off another crush that I had. So James, if you're watching, in 2011, I'd moved on from Sam and had a crush on you. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I named Webkinz after crushes I had. But it's also kind of endearing to look at this many years later. And then on March 3rd, I adopted my very first e-pet. Like, strictly, you could not get this as a plush ever, even if you wanted to. And it was the movie promotional hopping bunny that they released for the movie that was the Easter movie that was coming out called Hop. I believe that's what it's called. And I named mine DJ because in the movie, the bunny was a drummer. So, of course, I named him DJ. What else would I call him? On March 4th, I adopted a citrus dragon, and her name is Evergreen. And then on March 7th was a double adoption day. First, we adopted a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel named Angeline, and then we adopted a Littlekins seahorse, and I named him Bubbly. I really like the seahorse design. I kind of want 20 more of these seahorses. And like I said, these underwater pets make me want more underwater pets. On March 31st, we adopted another Mason hamster, the Hope hamster, and her name is Harmony. On July 7th was a triple adoption day, with the first one being a Mason hamster, the Cookie hamster, and of course, if it's a Cookie hamster, you call him Mason, obviously. Definitely not a cookie pun. It's just Mason. But again, I named the hamsters just what was on their tag. I'm pretty sure. If not, I have no excuse for calling a cookie hamster Mason. And then we adopted a Mystic Pony horse, and her name is Macy. The Mystic Pony named Macy. And then the last one we adopted on July 7th was a Green Earth puppy, and I named him TH. And that's short for tree hugger, because what else are you going to name an eco-conscious Earth Day type puppy other than tree hugger? But I didn't want to write out tree hugger because that's not cool, so you abbreviate it. TH is way cooler. And then the last pet of the golden era was adopted on December 25th, 2011, and it was a winter fawn, and her name was a Glimmer. What a good way to end the golden era before we go into 2012 and beyond into the dark ages. This is whenever I was in high school, and it, you know, if you get made fun of enough and poked at enough for what you enjoy, you stop verbalizing it, and you sometimes just straight up avoid what you enjoy. But even still, every once in a while, I would come in and adopt a Webkinz. Through the years 2012 all the way to 2021, I adopted 5 Webkinz. So I couldn't fool myself completely into saying that I didn't enjoy Webkinz anymore. But on June 1st, 2012, we adopted a Weimaraner, and I named him Boo Buddy. This is in memorial of my other childhood dog, who was a Weimaraner named Buddy, but I already had that black lab named Buddy, and I got the black lab before I got my actual dog Buddy. So I had to memorialize my actual dog Buddy, but I couldn't have 2 Webkinz named Buddy, so obviously you put Boo in front of it. Boo Buddy. And you have to say it like that. No other way is accepted. And then on August 24th, 2012, we adopted a Littlekins black and white cat named Tuxedo. And then on July 3rd, 2017, so a big jump there, we adopted a poodle, and his name is Francis. And then we jump even further to 2019, August 13th, 2019 to be exact, where I adopted a Plumfadoodle. I believe that's how you say it. And I named her Bella. And Bella could not be alone for long. Bella needed a twin, even though they were not adopted at the exact same time. her twin brother was actually adopted December 23rd, 2020, and he is a holly doodle named Doodle. So Doodle and Bella are twins, even though they're not the same type of Webkinz. They're close enough, and they weren't adopted on the same day, but it's close enough. They're just twins in my head. It's canon. And that is it for the Dark Ages, when I finally started getting back into Webkinz, and we've been adopting Webkinz ever since. Not as many as the Golden Age. It's still probably a little less than what it was in 2007 to 2009 each year, but we're going strong, and it doesn't look like we're stopping anytime soon. So on August 19th, 2022, we adopted the big top elephant, Tilly, and then on August 30th, 2022, I adopted the Webkinz next elephant, and I named him Jeremiah. I did also adopt him on Webkinz Next, but I haven't played much Webkinz Next. It felt kind of empty when I played it, but I'm thinking about giving it another shot. It's been 2 years since I've played it, and I feel like a lot more has come out for it, and I feel like it's not as empty, hopefully. I would hope. I don't know. I'm not on it. But I may give it another chance, because some of the Webkinz Next plushes do look cute. While they don't have the same Webkinz classic charm that those plushes did, they have their own unique charm, and I've grown to find it really endearing. And then we have on September 6th, 2022, we adopted a Webkinz bear cub, and I named him Bibble. And if you know where his name comes from, you are a real one. But if you don't, I highly suggest you watch the Barbie Fairytopia movies. Some people find the character of Bibble to be very annoying, but I find him to be so precious and sweet, and I love him so much. And while the real Bibble is not a Webkinz bear cub at all, I don't know what he is. Webkinz. The word Webkinz just was like, it screams Bibble to me. And then on December 1st of 2022, I adopted the Sugar Cookie Mouse, and I named her Thistle. And then on December 28th of that year, we got the Snowy Retriever puppy, and his name is Micah. This was the puppy that you could get with all the medallions, and if you collected 100 medallions, you could get it. You could adopt the pet, and it was just within the month of December. On February 12th of 2003, we got another trading card code pet, and it was a frog, and her name is Ziggy. I finally recently got back into the trading cards really heavily, and I've gotten a couple trading card pets since then, and I still technically have a few that I haven't adopted yet, but it's been fun adopting them sporadically, especially when you're having a hard day. It's so nice to just adopt a Webkinz and make yourself feel better. But I'm happy for Ziggy being the first one that I had adopted in a while, especially in the first one total if we're not counting Mo. Sorry, Mo. And then on March 15th, 2003, we adopted a sea dragon, and her name is Nausicaa, based off of the Studio Ghibli movie Nausicaa. And then on March 30th, 2023, we adopted another trading card code pet, and this time it was a Dalmatian, and I named him Marvin. On January 30th of this year, actually, we adopted my Peace Bear, Bumble, a lot like Bibble, but just Bumble, not Bibble. I don't know why, but we have Bumble here. A cute little Peace Bear. Then on August 22nd of this year, we got our most recent love animal. This time it's the Love Dino, and I got this one specifically for my partner. So this Love Dino, his name is Walter, named after my husband. So, you know, we had the two that were named after crushes, and then now we have this one that's named after my life partner. So, you know, it's super sweet. And I wish the Love Dino had an actual plush, but it doesn't. So maybe one day I'll have to just make a love dino and bring it to life. And then on December 22nd, we had our most recent a double adoption day. The first one we adopted was a trading card code pet, and it was another Dalmatian. Her name is Marley. So Marley and Marvin hang out together and do all sorts of stuff together. I consider them twins as well. And you can obviously tell why, because they're both Dalmatians. And their names both start with the letter M. And then the other Webkinz we adopted on September 22nd is the Enchanted Dragon, and her name is Wheezy. She is named after the character in Dragon Tales. One of the two-headed one that had the girl head and the boy head. Wheezy was the girl dragon part of the two-headed dragon. So this Enchanted Dragon does not look like Wheezy at all, but I enjoyed Dragon Tales growing up, and I just wanted to name her after it. But as soon as I saw this Enchanted Dragon, I was so in love with the design that I just had to have it. And then on October 29th, we adopted a gray Himalayan, and his name is Bitsy, and he is a memorial pet based off of another childhood pet that I've had. Bitsy passed away in like 2022, so I finally found one that I was happy with the design and looked. While Bitsy was not a gray Himalayan, the face of this Webkinz just looks so much like Bitsy, so derpy, so thoughtless, head empty, that it screams him, and I'm so happy to finally have him inside the game, memorialized forever. And then the last Webkinz. The last one was adopted on December 19th, so just a few days ago, and this was the Winter Otter, and her name is Solstice. She was a deluxe reward pet, so were a couple others of these, but this one I believe I got it in January because the deal was so good, but I just waited until I actually renewed my deluxe membership before I adopted Solstice. So that's why it took so long to get her here, but she's finally here, and she is so cute. So those are all the Webkinz that I have as of today. I do have a few other Webkinz that I have, but I haven't put in their codes. One is the Snow Hare Signature Rabbit, because they're going to be a memorial pet, and I want to wait until I have the other two rabbits, because I had 3 rabbits at the same time. They were all siblings, they were all bonded together, and I want to adopt them all at the exact same time, so I'm waiting till I get the other 2. And then, like I said before, we have a few more trading card code pets that I just save for, days that don't feel as fun, just to cheer myself up. So I could adopt more pets today, but we won't. We'll leave it here with all these Webkinz. I have all these Webkinz counted out or listed out in a Notion spreadsheet that has all the information about each and every Webkinz, and that's what I've actually been reading off of this entire time. And this spreadsheet tells me that I have 79 Webkinz. I don't know if that's right. That feels like not that many. It may be correct. Who knows? Personally, I feel like I have 100 Webkinz, but I don't think I feel like this Notion page is probably correct, and I do have 79 Webkinz, but maybe in a few years we'll re-update this video and I'll have more than 79. Thank you so much for watching. I hoped you enjoyed. Hopefully the sound was way better. If not, I'm not re-recording this, so we're stuck with whatever this sounds like. Fingers crossed it's good. But thank you so much for watching. Please, in the comments, let me know what you thought about my collection. Tell me about your collection. If you want, you can just give me a long list of every single one of your Webkinz and their names. I'll read it. I'll read it so happily. Not even kidding. I hope you have had a fantastic day, and if not, I hope this video made your day a little bit better, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!